This recipe is for a beef and noodle stir fry. The first thing that I did was cook up some lo mein noodles or any kind of strand pasta that you'd like. And I've rinsed that in some cold water. And I have a little bit of marinade here for the protein. You could use chicken. In this recipe, I'm going to be using steak. In here is a teaspoon of sesame oil, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and a teaspoon of cornstarch. And I'm just going to mix that up. And I'm just preheating my pan. I have some thinly sliced steak here. And I'm going to make sure that this gets coated in the soy sauce and the cornstarch. And the cornstarch is going to give it that really nice velvety texture. And I'm just going to set this aside. And I have about 2 cups here. I have my pan heating here, and I have all my vegetables prepped. So the first thing that I'm going to start with is some garlic, thinly sliced garlic, 1 clove, and a teaspoon of sesame oil. And I may need more sesame oil as I go. And I'm just going to cook the vegetables in order of how quickly they cook. So the first thing that I'm going to add is the thinly sliced carrots. As these are cooking, I'll show you the rest of what's going in. I have some thinly sliced scallions off to the side here. I have bok choy and napa cabbage that I'm going to be using. So the bok choy and the napa cabbage have some white part at the bottom that's a little crunchier and crispier. I like that to go in and get a little softer. Then I do the tops. So the tops of the bok choy are here and the softer part of the napa cabbage is there. You can use any type of cabbage. And then right at the very end, I'm going to be adding some snow peas. I don't want these to get mushy. I don't want these to get overcooked, so I'm going to put these in at the end. And then just a little bit of sauce at the end. I have a tablespoon of sake wine here, and a teaspoon to a tablespoon of soy sauce, depending on how much I need. These are getting a little bit of color on them. So I'm going to add in the bottoms of the bok choy and the napa cabbage. And I have my heat on 5, but this burner, that's probably about medium-high. You don't want the vegetables to burn, but you do want them to get a little bit of color on them. And I'm happy with those. The next thing that's going to go in is the steak. And I don't want to overcrowd the pan. I'm going to add a little more vegetable oil. And now I'm going to add in my greens. After this soaks up a little bit of the flavor, I'm going to give the pan a cleaning before I add my noodles because I don't want them to stick. Those are wilted through. I've got my mixture here, my clean pan, reheating. And I'm going to add a little oil to the bottom and let that heat up. I'm going to add in my noodles. And I rinse these really well after boiling them. And they might stick a little bit. To this, I'm gonna mix my soy sauce with my sake. And I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of sugar to this as well. Give that a stir. Heating up the noodles. I'm going to put back my vegetable mix. And at this point I'm going to add my snow peas. And my scallions. I'm going to give this just a little bit more of a drizzle of soy sauce for color and flavor. That's instead of salt. And this always continues cooking as it sits, even while you're setting the table. That's why I like to add the snow peas right at the end so that they don't overcook. Because they're really nice in here for some crispness. And that's it. I'm going to plate it up. Give the vegetables a taste. Seasoning's good. It's not too salty. You can always add more individually.